Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here at the beautiful campus of Merritt College. My name is Mark Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing, Communication, and Public Relations for the Peralta Community College District, and it is my pleasure to help us kick off this groundbreaking ceremony. So thank you for being here. Before we start the groundbreaking, we want to acknowledge the origins of this ground that we are occupying today. So I'm going to read this because words matter, and this is very important to us. The Peralta Community College District honors and acknowledges that our campuses are located in the unceded territories of the Ohlone, Muwekma, and Confederated Villages of Lisjan. We are committed to supporting the ongoing relationships between these tribes, their ancestral territories, and the resilience, strength, and sovereignty that continues to be demonstrated by California's First Peoples. We affirm our intentions for ongoing relationships with American Indian tribal nations and communities whose ancestral lands we occupy and students we educate. A land acknowledgement is a critical step towards working with Native communities to secure meaningful partnership and inclusion in the stewardship and protection of their cultural resources and homelands. Our institutions were founded upon exclusions and erasures of indigenous peoples. We honor and are grateful for the land we occupy and recognize the ongoing damage of settler colonialism. So that's the ground that we occupy today. Thank you. So on with the program. Sadly, my job today, actually gloriously, my job today was to introduce Chancellor Dr. Jeanette N. Jackson, the amazing Chancellor of the Peralta Community College District, but unfortunately, she's under the weather today. So she is following our protocol where if you don't feel 100%, stay home. So she's leading by example and she's staying home. So thank you, Chancellor Jackson, for thinking of all of us today and staying home. When it's time for the groundbreaking, we're going to go, we, meaning the people that are involved in the shovel ceremony itself, will be walking down. You all please stay where you are. It is a live construction space, and so only the people that are involved in the shovel ceremony and the media are allowed to go down and take pictures. But this is a really lovely viewing space, so you can see what's happening back there. So I know that Chancellor Jackson wanted to share a few things with you, and I promise, I promise nobody is more sad that she's not here than I am. But I do want to share a few points that I know that she wanted to make with you. And the first is really expressing gratitude. We want to thank our students. That's the reason that we are all here. And particularly with this semester, with the Spring is Free campaign, it is so exciting to see more students on the Peralta campuses. So thank you very much, students. Thank you for being here. You're the reason we do everything we do. Second thing I know she wanted me to say is thank you, community. The taxpayers of Alameda County overwhelmingly approved Measure G in November of 2018, which created the funding for this lovely building that we're about to start building. So thank you so much to taxpayers for supporting educational programs. The third audience I know she wants me to thank is the Peralta team, from the Board of Trustees to the faculty, to the classified professionals and the administrators. We've worked together with the spirit of Ubuntu over the past 3 years to make some amazing improvements at the district, and not least of which is in terms of our governance and in terms of our financial stability. And I want to share with you just a chain of sequence that's happened over the last 5 months that shows you the great improvements that have been made. So in October, we submitted reports to the Accrediting Commission, the ACCJC, which had expressed concerns about finances and governance. And we were able to demonstrate that we had addressed all of those concerns and that we met the standards of accreditation and that our finances were really solid. The next significant thing that happened is that the ratings agencies that oversee the bonds, they noticed, and they improved the Peralta's bond ratings for the first time in 7 years. That is amazing. Because you know those people, they don't mess around. They look at the fine print. So that's amazing. And that resulted in a third thing, which is on November 10th, the bond sale of $131 million closed, which put the money in our bank accounts that allows us to pay the people that are doing this work that help our students. So, and because of the increased bond rating, we were able to get a premium price for our bonds. So that was a pretty spectacular result. In December, we heard from our auditors. We had a clean audit for the second year in a row. And as a result, we were rewarded by the Accrediting Commission in January. We just found out last week that that all sanctions have been removed. We are back on our regular accreditation schedule. We don't have to write reports every 6 months or 8 months anymore. Our next report is due March 2025. That is a big deal. So thank you all for your help with that. So I want to acknowledge a number of dignitaries that are here, including former trustee, but now council member, Kevin Jenkins. He'll be saying a few words in just a moment. I also want to acknowledge, let's see, Cesar Macias from Barbara Lee's office, over there. Oh, we saved you a seat up here. He'll be saying a few words a little bit later soon as well. Also want to acknowledge board member Lewis Quinlan, former Laney faculty, but now trustee at the Peralta District. Thank you for being here. And she'll always be trustee to me, the Honorable Linda Handy. Thank you very much for being here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Vice Chancellor Etheria Smith to keep the program going. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming on this cold day, but this is a long time coming. I know Mark just said that we were grateful, and we are grateful, and I want to thank the voters of Alameda County for approving our bond in 2018, but this project started well before that. It started, David, probably about 10 years before that? Maybe 2008, 2006, and I have to commend the Child Development Center people and the Child Development Service Center. They've stuck with this project. There were ups and downs, thinking this will never happen, and we would rally each other on. It's gonna happen, we're going to do it. And then when we finally went out to bid, we got our approval, we got the state funding. It is one of 6 state-funded projects, and this is the first groundbreaking. So thank you for just sticking with us for all those years. And so when we hired the architects, AE3, and we have AECOM, the program managers, we have Kitchell here, but most of all, I just want to honor the Merritt Child Development Center and them sticking with us. So I also would like to let President David Johnson say a few words.
Good morning, Merritt College, Peralta leadership, elected officials, community, family, and friends. Today we are met to bear witness. And by that I mean that our presence here attests to the culmination of collective efforts. What began as an idea and grew into a hope and expanded to a plan, our bold conception of what was possible for this revered and vibrant program is now coming to fruition. Soon we will erect a beautiful edifice that will serve as a paragon of pedagogy and practice, that alliteration there, in the field of child development. As such, our charge is to always meet the mark. And by that I mean to work and teach and serve in such a way that we are deserving of this building. We must always be good stewards, lest we discredit what the Child Development Center should mean to all who enter its doors. But please know that we're also here to celebrate. It's a celebration. So we want to take this moment of joy to say thank you to the Merritt College's Child Development Program pioneers. I have a few names. Women such as Rose Crowder and Betty McFarlane and Margaret Powell and Marjorie Scott. And I don't see her. I thought she was going to be here today, Dr. Stacy Thompson. But this morning, we also commemorate what I like to call the three pillars, the three titans of child development. Christine Olson, Mr. Newt McDonald, and our dear, dear Jenny Briffin. I think her family is here, so. Because the truth is, we're not here at this groundbreaking if it weren't for those three. So we say thank you to them and their families for what they have meant and will always mean to this program and college. And finally, we celebrate the bright future that awaits us under the leadership of Ms. Michelle St. Germain and Lizette Dominguez, because we take comfort in knowing that the program is in their capable hands for years to come. So with that said, I will simply end by saying, oh, happy day, and call to the podium Professor Michelle St. Germain for her remarks.
Well, following President Johnson is not an easy feat with his beautiful words. I, too, wrote down my remarks. Oh, lower that a little bit? Okay. Thank you. I do just want to say quickly thank you for this opportunity to speak here today. I know there's so many people to speak about this, and the honor it is to be here representing child development. Many of us are here, and the Children's Center manager was not able to be here today, Erica Harrell, who I also want to mention her and all of the work that she's put in also to make this a joint effort in planning this building with all of you. So let me begin. This groundbreaking event is symbolic of our district, college, and department's commitment to serving our students and community. This new building is devoted to the creation of future educators and the early care and education of young children, and will provide a model environment for students, faculty, teachers, children, and families to learn from each other under one roof. Having the Child Development Department and the Merritt Children's Center in close proximity will make collaborating and mutually benefiting each other easier. This is a win-win for both programs, and we are excited about this new era. As a new tenure-track faculty, and now the Child Development Chair, all at once, yes. But I'm grateful for this opportunity to honor my predecessors and mentors for whom this building is named. I, along with the child development faculty and staff, strive to continue the long-standing commitment to provide meaningful instruction that sets high standards and expectations for teacher competencies, and evolve the vision and leadership of the department established by Christine Olson. We seek to provide and model empathy, warmth, nurturing, and relationship building for the students and children as exemplified by Jennifer Briffa. And her mom is here today, and her husband, and brother. I just want to acknowledge them. Additionally, we aim to maintain the commitment to embracing and celebrating each student's unique culture, language, abilities, and traditions by demonstrating how to develop a diverse community of educators and leaders committed to bettering the lives of children and families, as modeled by Newt MacDonald. Ms. Olson, Ms. Briffa, and Mr. MacDonald will continue to touch the lives of future students due to the legacy they leave us. We in Child Development are honored to take the baton and continue the department's mission to prepare students to become effective early care and education professionals who will lead quality programs and services to children, families, and communities they serve. Thank you so much. Oh, and we're going to go back to Mark Johnson. Nope, not to it there yet.
I just wanted to acknowledge Jennifer Briffa's family here. She worked so hard on this, along with Christine, and she never gave up hope. So thank you for coming. I mean, wow. Next, I would like to acknowledge that former trustee Bill Riley is here, and also introduce trustee Johannes, and have our former trustee, Kevin Jenkins, come up and say a few words, who's now Councilman Jenkins.
So thank you for introducing Trustee Johannes. I was going to have her come up here, and I know she would have been really embarrassed by it. But they told me that I have 2 minutes, and I'm going to do my best to get through this in 2 minutes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Peralta community. I want to take the time to honor somebody who really fought for this bond to get passed. Trustee Linda Handy and her 20 years of dedicated public service. She's so incredibly dedicated to our students, to our colleges, to our community, and she worked very hard to get this passed and lend her credibility to get these bonds passed. I also want to highlight Trustee Bill Riley back there in the back. Want to give him? He did 20 years too. And so I remember talking on the phone with him in 2018 when he was going back and forth to Sacramento to get money for this bond so that it could get passed so that our students could have the resources that they needed. So thank you guys for your hard and diligent work. Thank you to the pioneers that worked on getting this passed. Without the dedication of a lot of people, this wouldn't have happened. I want to thank President Delphine Polk, Trustee Quinlan, Chancellor Jackson, and President Johnson. Yeah. So look, our kids play on the same basketball team together. So yeah, Saturdays, Fridays, we're hanging out. There's no, don't tell me when I said this, there's no better president we have than I'm proud to the President Johnson. So I also want to thank the voters for investing in the next generation of our children and leaders in our community. These bonds are not only important to rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure here at Peralta, but also investing in a new regional workforce. This isn't an easy task. I want to highlight the DGS team and Vice Chancellor Altheria for her hard work. So the pandemic was very hard on us. I don't know if you guys realize that we're in a crisis when it comes to childcare in California. We lost over 30,000 childcare workers during the pandemic. And so with that, there are also 1 in 4 childcare workers are in poverty. So Peralta is taking the bold step to invest in childcare for not only our workers, but also parents that are in desperate need of childcare. Yeah, clap for that. So I'm so happy that Peralta is lending itself to solve this issue. And thank you, Peralta community and President David. I want to make sure that we're looking forward to working on housing next. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So unfortunately, Peralta Board President Diana Delphine Polk was not able to join us, nor was former president and the trustee representing this area, Dr. Cindy Napoli-Abella Reese. So they're not able to join us and say a few things. I'd like to invite to represent the trustees up Louis Quinlan, who is the vice president of the board, and we'll follow that with our last speaker of the day, Mr. Cesar Macias from Barbara Lee's office.
Morning, everyone. I didn't really come prepared to speak. I would just like to back up some of the things that Kevin was talking about. One thing the pandemic taught us very well was the importance of programs like these and the people that come out of them. Of all the programs we have at Peralta, high-tech programs, fancy equipment, maybe nothing impacts our community more than the students that come out of this program and the impact they have on the young people that will go through the programs that they teach, and then also the working parents that desperately need these programs so they can go out and earn living wages. So thank you very much for Merritt for continuing to work on this program, and thank you most of all to the Peralta taxpayers in their infinite wisdom. Just a little history. This is now $1.16 billion that the Peralta community has supported our district with, our students with, in our programs, and we owe the deepest thanks to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Quinlan. Mr. Macias from Barbara Lee's office. Also want to acknowledge Shahid Johannes, so thank you for being here. The Honorable Mr. Jenkins stole my thunder there.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cesar Macias. I'm a congressional aide for the 12th Congressional District of California. Congresswoman Barbara Lee is my boss, and unfortunately, she was not able to make it today. And, when I spoke to her a few weeks ago, she said, I can't make it, but you can. So I know Congresswoman and the college have a very long history, and this is actually the first time that I see the building behind us named after her. And I went up there and took a selfie and texted it to her. So the reason I'm here is to really congratulate Merritt College and to present a congressional recognition certificate. And I'll hand it over to the president, Mr. Johnson. And I'll read this. In recognition of your dedication to educating and inspiring the next generation of early care and educational professionals, congratulations on breaking ground for your new Child Development Center. On behalf of the 12th Congressional District of California, I thank you for your continued contributions to our community. Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
That's all right. Appreciate you. That is all right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
To commemorate today, we'd like to award our plaques for those who took part. And I'm going to go a little off sequence because I'd like to invite Christine and Jennifer's family up to give them a plaque. The next plaques, we would like to present them to the Board of Trustees. President Delphine Polk, who's not with us right now. Louis Quinlan, Vice President. Trustee Johannes, you're hiding back there. You gotta come on up. And of course, the next person is Chancellor Jackson. So if you would receive on behalf of Chancellor Jackson.
I'll make sure she gets it.
and also to Mark Johnson for all of your work. Former trustee, but current council member, Kevin Jenkins. Former trustee, Bill Riley. And also trustee Linda Handy. I'm not sure if Merle Cannon made it. Merle Cannon is an individual who has worked on these projects since 2008. So I wanted to recognize him and thank you for all your work that you've done with us on the state level and also at the state chancellor's office. So let me also acknowledge AECOM, our PMO, Keith, Sharon. BRJ, Bonnie James. And now for the heavy hitters who are going to be doing the rest of the work from here on in. Kitchell, the PM. Aaron Griffin. A3 Architects. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Mark Johnson for the shovel toss. Thank you, everyone.
For the record, we won't actually be tossing shovels. We'll be tossing dirt with shovels. Words matter. So it's my pleasure to call the individuals up and please come on up and we'll just walk with the program manager down to the appropriate space. Oh, Malik is going to lead the way. So when I call your name, come on up. We'll go down, use the shovels to toss dirt, and then we'll come back up and party. Louis Quinlan, Shalit Johannes, Kevin Jenkins, President Johnson, David Johnson, Doug Douglas, Rick Dumas, Aaron Griffin, Jonathan Wickman, Keith Kajia, Michelle St. Germain, Bonnie James, Bill Riley, Linda Handy, and John Wickman.